Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Dr. Music Podcast. Thank you to my return visitors, my subscribers. Always appreciated. If you're not a subscriber, please consider hitting that button. It is great honor today to have Mr. Verni with me. Didi, best known as a founding member, bassist, songwriter for Overkill, a legendary thrash band. He has also had two solo albums under the name Verni. He has had projects with the Bronx Casket Company as well. Today, we're going to talk about another of Didi's side projects. It's called Didi Verni and the Cadillac Band. It's just a super fun listen, big band type stuff, which is really different from Overkill. The band has just released their follow up to 2021's Let's Rattle album. This one's called Buckle Up, and Didi's here to tell us about it. Man, it is an honor to have you. Thank you, man.
But appreciate you being having me on here. And it's like you start spouting all that off. I feel like I don't know if you're a Game of Thrones person, but Daenerys Targaryen. It's like the breaker of chains, the mother of dragons. These titles go on forever.
And that's her so right there, actually.
Oh, there you go. Right
on the dragon.
Right. Okay.
Yeah, big fan. Big fan. Yeah.
All right. Well, cool. I'm happy to be here.
Yeah, and it is great to have you. It's so much material that you've given us in your career, and we're so thankful for it. And this is something that is away from the norm for you, which is, like we were talking before, I've got all kinds of music back there, so having that variety is really special, man, and appreciate that for sure. Number one question: how's the shoulder doing? It has to be, that's two surgeries now.
Two on that shoulder, one on the other one. If I'm honest, it sucks.
Yeah, I'm sure it does.
Yeah, I just started. I'm a year and a half after surgery, and I just started with a new person last week again, because it's just I'm trying to avoid shoulder replacement. Yeah. So these surgeries have been and physical therapy, blah blah blah. And it's old guy shit. Not getting any younger, and even my surgeon is like, after he did the first repair and I completely, ruptured and tore it off again. He had to go back and look at videos of Overkill, and he's like, "Oh, I thought when you said you were a musician that it was." I'm like, no. I'm not sitting on a bar stool somewhere with an acoustic guitar. It's a little bit more intense than that. And so whatever, I just keep at it, keep rehabbing. I did a bunch of festivals this summer, but those are, 2, 3, 4 shows at a clip. Those are fine. It's the tours. It's the, where the doc has just said, repetition is your enemy. I'm like, well, that's what touring is. Yeah. So we'll see. We'll see how it goes.
Yeah, but it didn't interfere with, doing this record, because those surgeries were around this time, right? Where you would be recording this record.
Was it after or before? I can't even remember. It's been a while. But for some reason too, I have no idea why. I mean, one of the physical therapy people will have to tell me is that playing guitar is not that much of an issue. I put a bass on and my shoulder lights up. It's on fire. And I just think it's the bigger strings, the way I hold my pick, trying to control the strings, how I play. Guitar is just lighter, easier, so, I don't know. But yeah, whenever I did the tracking for this record, I must have been okay.
Yeah. That's good. That's good. And your role on this record, I wanted to ask you about too. We're so used to seeing you playing bass. Here you're playing guitar, you're singing. Is there anything, is that it? Is that what you're doing here?
In this band, yeah.
Okay.
Well, as well as writing and, being a songwriter, but there's a lot involved with like a big band, a swing band. You start working with horn arrangements and horn guys and background singers and stand-up bass and piano, and there's just like a whole lot of stuff that that's what makes it fun too. But there's a big learning curve, especially on the first record. This record, I felt like I had done it enough that I kind of had my head around it some. But there's just a lot more to it than just, singing and playing, just to kind of pull a whole record together,
Yeah, I'm listening to it, and the horns. I mean, there's not a couple of horns here. I mean,
Yeah.
it is a man. Oh man, it sounds like a full like orchestra back there. It is blaring, bright, fun, jumping and jiving. It is really something. And just about every tune has that kind of big horn sound. The arrangements are incredible. You've got backup singers, that female voice thing happening,
Right.
to reflect what you're doing. It's just it's busy, it's fun, it's bright. It's really, really. There's got to be so much that goes into this. How big is what kind of crew cast, if you will, is doing this record? It's got to be a number of people.
Well, usually we're in the shows and on the record is 13 piece.
Yeah.
So, and that's, when you put a show together, now it's 13 guys schedules, and so,
Right.
Because they're not all just doing this, they're working guys and they work in the studio. And so, you get offered a show and it's like, okay, well, I can do that, but let me start making calls. But I learned even in this kind of music, that where people are reading off charts, there's a lot of chart reading that goes on and stuff.
Right.
And there's a lot of subbing in and out, I can't make that day, but my buddy John can come.
Right.
And, as long as the charts are accurate and things are good, they can step in and kind of be good. And you kind of have a kind of core people that I like to kind of have around, that I like to play with. And do that. But, so there is some wiggle room as far as kind of pulling in other people. But, it's definitely a clash of cultures. Like when I started calling people to be involved with this, I was amazed at how many of them, I'm like, who's going to want to play with some metalhead and some thrash guy? But they were so intrigued by it, and just, what I do with Overkill and what that was. And then I was with their world too. I would hear stuff about, like we could just show up, on the day of the gig. I was like, what? How, with no rehearsal? Well, no, I mean, as long as the charts are good. And I'm looking, I'm like, that's crazy. That's not how you do it in metal. And he said, well, how do you do it? I was like, well, we rehearse. And he goes, well, how do you know the song? I'm like, we memorize them. There's no charts. There's no, know the song inside and out, and you can just play it. And they look at me like I have two heads, like, what? You gotta memorize all that shit? Yeah. And I'm like, so it was fun to kind of see how the two worlds kind of operate. But they were up for it. Anytime I told them, like, be more aggressive, play more aggressive, they would look at me and say, wow, really? Are you sure? I'm like, oh yeah, I'm sure. I'm I'm a rock and roll metalhead guy. I want it jumping. I wanted to jump out of the speakers, fuck being subtle, especially you horn players, go for it. And they were like, all right, you don't have to tell us twice. They were ready to jump in.
I bet they had to have so much fun with this stuff.
Yeah, they do. Yep.
Yeah. And it does, man. I mean, like I say, it is bright and it's really jumping, man. It's really cool. It feels like it's not a metal record, but I mean, it's, it takes horns instead of guitars, kind of, and it's a heavy record in that way. It rocks. It really rocks.
Yeah. Well, as I think that's why I have a lot of metal people that kind of are digging it, and I think that's because the songs just have a lot of energy, which is kind of what metal people and metal bands and me, being a metal guy my whole life, is that. Any kind of music I listen to, that's what I'm listening for, is that good kind of energy. And then after a while of listening it, you find out that horns are just riffs. Right. That's really a lot of what they're doing. Sometimes it's different kind of more pads kind of things, but a lot of times it's riffs. It's riffs answering the vocal. It's riffs here. It's just not played on a guitar. And then what I've tried to do a lot of times is I'll have a riff on the guitar and then a riff answering on the horns, so you have a back and forth, and that's when I'm digging the song.
Yeah, no doubt, man. It is a really, really fun listen, man. I think everybody could appreciate it for sure. How'd you gain an appreciation for all of this type of music? Did you have, music in the home growing up, formal training, all of that kind of stuff? Did you have all different kinds of music in your early years?
Well, number one, I have no formal training.
Oh,
I was on a thing last night with a couple of guys, and they were talking about this and that. I was like, wow, these guys have a completely different DNA than me as
yeah.
far as how they came up, their respective roots, and how they formed things. But for me, you know, I think probably back in the 70s when I was growing up, the first exposure I had to stuff was AM radio. So it was, Neil Diamond, Frankie Valli,
Yeah.
the hit songs that were on the radio. So you got an appreciation for the songs that you liked,
Yeah.
and the kind that you didn't like. Like the 60s kind of stuff didn't do a whole lot for me. But the 70s stuff that started to kind of have that kind of flavor. And I always loved the crooners. That kind of stuff my mom and dad loved, which was, Sinatra
Yeah.
and Tony Bennett. I come from a big Italian house, so that kind of stuff was going on. So I think that's probably put into my DNA early. But I would say from age 16 to age 45, I don't think I listened to anything but metal.
Yeah.
Nothing. Not like
Really?
this
Wow.
not like this big diverse thing. Not like this. Oh, I listen to all kinds of different music. That's not it at all. I was completely single-minded, metal
Wow.
all the time, at different kinds of metal.
Right, right, right.
But for people who don't listen to metal, they just think it's all the same. It's like, no, it's very different.
Yeah.
They're different kinds.
Totally.
And then I think as I got older, I started doing other projects, and that kind of opened me up to trying my hand at some other things. I worked on a musical a bunch of years ago, which I never thought would be something I would, be interested in or whatever. But
Right.
On this Bronx Casket stuff that I had done, some people got involved with it and said, would you be interested in turning this into a musical? And that was the learning curve on that. You're walking in as a choreographer and they're playing your songs and singing your songs. And I'm just looking around going, oh my God, where am I? It's just crazy. But I really had so much fun. I had so much fun. It reminds me in some ways of the old days with Overkill and you're first starting off, where it was kind of so new. Every single day was this big learning thing. Like, what really? So I think that's a part of it that's been a lot of fun too for me.
I bet. You've been doing this a long, long time, with Overkill. So,
Yeah.
It's got to be fun to strap on a different instrument, do a different genre, learn a few things that you might not have known, or,
Yeah.
it's got to be a lot of fun to have a renewed thing in your career. It's pretty great, man.
Well, it must be strange for fans. Because I remember, I'm a fan of other guys too, and I know Frank and Anthrax pretty well. And we were playing on a ship. We were on the Megadeth boat or something like that, but we were part of their thing. And Frank came out, and he had like the side project that he was doing, and he came out with a guitar and was singing, and I was like, "What? No,
right?
No, that's what does Frank do? What is Frankie doing without a bass on? It's like that's not right." I mean, he was great. He was great, played great, sang great. It's just when you see somebody, even somebody who used to singing outside of the slightest thing. I've seen pictures of Lemmy without a Rickenbacker, and it's like, what?
Right.
Or, if you saw Steve Harris without a P bass, it's just like, you're so used to a certain picture. And I think that's fun too, to kind of jump into that some too.
Yeah, when I looked at the photo in the press release, you've got that suit tuxedo kind of thing on with the guitar.
Yeah.
I was like, who is that guy?
Yeah, I got this big Vegas vibe going, which is really
cool.
Yeah, it's really fun. And the people that I play with, like the girls in the band, The Kingston and Gray Star ladies, they are awesome. They've kind of been there since day one. And we have a lot of laughs in the studio, a lot of laughs doing videos. Angus, a guitar player, he plays in Trans-Siberian Orchestra, and I've known him for a long time. And we have a lot of laughs and a lot of fun there. And then the guys who weave in and out, there's been different horn players. And Mike, our bass player, our stand-up bass player, is, we'll have fun times talking about bass, and sometimes I'll pick up that stand-up bass in a while. I'll play like NIB on it, or
cool.
It's like, what are you playing, Sabbath on a stand-up? I'm like, I don't know, I'm a metal guy.
It's great, man.
It's fun.
It's really cool and fun. The video. Let's talk about Two of a Kind. We know the Bobby Darin, Johnny Mercer thing.
Right.
Well, most of us, the older guys, probably.
Right.
But, you got Jim Heath from Reverend Horton Heath here.
Yeah.
You guys just interact in this video, and it's like it's so surreal to watch. It's just really fun, man. It is so fun. It's so perfect the way you guys did it. I mean, did you work on anything else with Jim? I was watching it and I'm thinking they need to do a whole album like this.
I mean, Jesus, you know how many people have said that to me now? So
really,
there just seems to be a good chemistry, and that came across on tape. But that came out. I knew the song "Two of a Kind." I just, in the last maybe 2-3 years or so, I've really become a big Bobby Darin fan. So I listen to a lot of Bobby Darin a lot of the time, to the point sometimes where I'm like, I kind of like Bobby Darin better than Sinatra. I don't know if they'll take my Italian card away for that.
Right.
But Bobby Darin was Italian too. But so I've been listening to a lot of that, and I knew I wanted to do this song "Two of a Kind," and it was a duet. So I was like, all right, I'm going to have to find somebody else. And I had some ideas from some different people. But Overkill had done a show up in Worcester, up in Massachusetts, and it was an outdoor festival show. And the day before, Reverend Horton Heath was doing the warm-up show across the street from the hotel. And I had a friend of mine, a promoter, called and said, I'll put you on the list. Why don't you go over and check it out? So I went out and stood in the crowd and watched it. And I was like, damn, these guys are rocking. What a great band. It went away, didn't really think twice of it. And then I started thinking, when we were doing this, who could I get? And I said, I've never met these guys. I don't know them at all.
Really?
Nothing whatsoever. I called Jim's agent just completely out of blue. I said, hey, this is Dee Dee from Overkill. I'm doing this record. I'm doing this song. I wonder if Jim might want to be part of it. And I sent the song over, and I got an email from Jim, a couple days later saying, I love this. I'm a huge Johnny Mercer fan. I'm definitely in. He was on a tour. He said, when I come back from the tour, send it over and I'll do the vocal. So we did that, and we got it ready for the record, and it was, great. It was going to be a song included on the record. So he said, okay, that was great. But then we were getting ready to do the video for the lead track, which was Lucky 13. And we were doing it here in Jersey, and we were looking at Jim's touring schedule, and we're like, wow, he's going to be in Jersey like right around when we're doing this. I said, I wonder if he'd be into coming over and doing the video.
Right.
So we called him up, and he said, yeah, we have a day off the day before. I'm sitting in town as long as I'm nearby. I'm like, great. So we set it up. And so the first time we met was standing on that stage.
That's crazy.
He came up, we shook hands and said, hey, how you doing? And then we kind of hung out and chatted while they were setting up the stage and getting things ready. And we just realized, like, we have similar arcs in our career. He's been doing it forever with his band. They're looked at as one of the founders, one of the, the OGs of what he's doing. It's well respected with all that, and kind of Overkill fits into that groove. And we had toured with Motorhead. They had toured with Motorhead. So we shared some stories on that. Then I went to see his show the next day and met the guys in the band, and they were great to me. We had great fun or whatever. And so, would we do more songs? Hey, I would be up for, I had a great time. Could we do some shows together? Could we do some shows, just me and Jim putting a show together, or a record? I mean, who knows? There's lots of possibilities. At this point, I just like having fun and being challenged, and that's what this is. And Jim was great fun and great to work with. So who knows what's on the horizon down down the road. You just never know.
That's so cool. And the chemistry, man, it's immediate. You'd think you guys grew up together.
Yeah,
It was-
that's kind of what a lot of people have said to me.
yeah,
We just clicked pretty quickly. I mean, we were hanging out. I said, this feels like a guy I've known for a
man,
long time. It was just
it's
that, which
great.
is strange too. I'm a Jersey guy up here. He's a Texas guy. Very,
Yeah,
I mean, couldn't be more different. Like as far as how you were raised, growing up, and all that.
right.
So we'll see. Maybe next time we're in Texas, he'll take me for some barbecue, and the next time
Yeah.
he's in Jersey, I'll take him out for some Italian food. So,
There you go, man.
yeah,
That sounds great. That sounds
right.
so cool. When you write these songs and you got them down to where you want them, do you play them for anyone? Do you play them for your wife, your family? You play them for the Overkill guys. Hey guys, look what I'm doing. What do you think? Do you run it past anybody?
I, my wife usually always hears it. She'll always have something. Usually I don't share demos with anybody. Even when I've demoed stuff up, when my wife hears it, my demos are done. So
Okay.
it's like, and she'll comment on this and comment on that, and she's actually pretty good at that. And the guys in my band, they'll hear little snippets. Like I'll get a mix. I remember playing a mix for them on Two of a Kind, actually, and they're like, "Oh my god, that sounds like a legit big band kind of thing." I was like, "Well, yeah,
Yeah.
that song is." The other ones are more rocking, but I think the Overkill guys are more like just shaking their heads, going, "What the fuck,
Hell is he doing?
Yeah, I don't know what he's up to now. It's like I can see you're having fun, so have at it. But
It's so cool.
they're not a lot. There's not a lot of big band fans of those guys, but I think they get a kick out of it for sure.
I'm sure they do. I'm sure they do.
Right.
Um, in the song "If You Want to Dance," I think it's the second track on the new record.
Yeah.
There's a portion of the song, and this is a personal thing for me. I think the lyrics say "Show your love,"
Mm-hmm.
and it repeats a few times. It totally reminded me of Van Halen's "I'm the One."
Right.
Was
I thought the same thing.
was that an intentional thing? Did you put that in there for that reason?
No, it wasn't
Okay.
that. It was that that big walk down of I thought the same thing. I said to myself, where have I heard Richard? And I'm not even really that big a Van Halen fan.
Right,
It's
right.
like I know the first record I really loved, and then I kind of got off the Van
I
Halen kind of thing. But
yeah.
yeah, no, I think it just kind of accidentally happened. That there was a little bit, but that's a good catch, because that's funny. I thought the same thing.
Yeah, and it's very subtle. I mean, it's very slight. It's not like exactly like it or anything.
Right.
But I just thought, let's show your love. That's
Yeah, and
heard that.
maybe that's
You
why
know?
that lyric came. That's from the walk down riff. Put that in my
Yeah.
head somewhere. You never know. I know some people are pretty particular about that. I know even on my solo records, there's sometimes when I'll just be doing a lyric, kind of just scatting along with
Mhm.
something, and whatever comes out of my mouth, and it is a lyric from another song,
Yeah.
and but I'm like, oh, I'll fix that when I get to the real ones. But sometimes I leave it. Um,
Yeah. Yeah.
there was an Allman on the last solo record I did. There was an Allman Brothers, rolling down Highway 31 that we left in
Yeah.
there as part of a song that I kind of like that from time to time.
Yeah.
But it wasn't on this one. But
Yeah.
that's a cool thought that you got that.
Yeah, yeah. And it's nothing wrong with a little tribute showing your influences or whatever that might be.
Right.
For sure. It was very interesting.
Yeah.
Um, when you're writing this stuff, is the process anything like when you're writing for Overkill? I mean, it's it's a completely different kind of thing, but you're a songwriter. There's structure, there's the basics of songwriting.
Right.
Um, is it a lot different writing for this than it is for Overkill, or is it the same process, just a different genre?
Yeah, I think it probably is the same process. Probably the only thing that's really different is, Blitz does all the vocals and the lyrics for Overkill. So I don't really have to concern myself with that too much. I
Right.
think to myself, like if I'm demoing some stuff for him, this is where the verse will be. It's usually pretty obvious. This is where the verse will be. This is where this will be. Sometimes he'll sing over a part I hadn't thought of, and we'll change the arrangement and that kind of thing. When I do the Cadillac songs, I usually have the guitar and a vocal mic up at the same time. So I am kind of singing melodies and playing guitar at the same time. So, because I know I'm going to have to sing it later on. And so there'll be a lot of times like I'll have a melody and I'll be singing that and I'll put chords around it. Whereas Overkill, I really don't have that. We always do the music first. So that's probably the biggest difference. But once I have that part of things up, then it's, it's getting the demos out to the bass player and the drummer and getting the tracking done. The horn arrangements are a big thing with this. And I had a great horn arrangement guy. Verni Dressel, who played drums on this, he played in Setzer's band forever, and Johnny Hatton, the bass player, they both played in Setzer's band forever. I mean, if you're going to play this kind of jump blues, rockabilly swing stuff, I mean, to have the guy, I mean, Setzer invented that, and the guys in his band, to have them as a rhythm section I was like, oh my God, everything that came back was just rocking. It's like, this is great. But they turned me on to, Bernie turned me on to this guy named Jim McMillan to do the horn arrangements. And he does a lot of Bernie's arrangement. Bernie has a big band kind of thing that he does. And I sent him the songs and he just fell in love with the songs and was really into it and right on it. Like he sent me back the first two songs, like in a day. And they were smoking. I was like, okay, this guy is right on point. He really got what I was going for and what I was doing very, very quickly. And we had great relationship as far as talking about this and talking about that, what I wanted, what I was looking for, and let him kind of do his thing sometimes. And I sent him a lot of stuff too, I was just telling somebody this yesterday too, that I usually have something called a mumble track, which is for me, right? No one else is ever to hear this. And this is because I'm not a great piano player. So when I play horns on the keyboard, it's really time consuming. So a lot of times I'll just pick up a mic and I'll hum horns. Right. And so I'll hum that over a part. And so I know this is what I'm thinking about for the horns. But it's like, nobody's ever going to hear that. And he was like, yeah, send that over. Oh my God, really? So, oh my God, I said, please, it's embarrassing. But he was like, they were really helpful because the keys that you chose, the melodies, what you were thinking about for there really gave him a starting point on a lot of the stuff. So I'm like, all right, well, if that gets the result that I want, so be it, and so we had a good laugh over a bunch of those, a bunch of times. But otherwise, it's you strip away all that stuff, all the horns and the backgrounds and the pianos and all that, and underneath it all is a lot of times it's a Chuck Berry song. It's a 3-chord rock and roll song, just kind of inflated to its maximum potential.
Yeah, definitely. And I think about that, that's kind of a horn scat thing. Do you, on your demos, like, when you're sending music over to Blitz, do you give them a scat vocal?
No.
Don't hum anything or anything like that.
I mean, every once in a while I'll have something, but at the end of the day, he has to sing it. And I really think that singers are better when they write and do their thing. That way they can deliver it with some conviction. Right. But I always have in mind that there's going to be a vocal here. So I don't want to give him something that's like, even though sometimes I do, where I get a note back that's like, how the fuck am I supposed to sing over this? And I'm like, well, that's your job. But I try to set it up for him so that, it makes things, give him something that's inspiring, that is like, wow, I'm digging this riff and I love this one and I love this one. But yeah, no, I don't usually do that for any of that stuff on Blitz. I kind of try not to even tell him where I'm thinking of things, because sometimes it'll come back and he's singing over a whole solo section. And I'm like, all right, that's awesome. So now it's not going to be the solo section anymore. We're going to have to change this, Right. So most of the times it's pretty obvious because, like I said, songwriting is, it's for how we do it generally is it's not that kind of crazy arrangements. So, but you just never know. So you just throw it out there and kind of see what happens.
Yeah, and you guys are the definition of chemistry. You and Blitz, you've been doing this together for so long, 40 plus. Through thick and thin, you've lost guys, you've lost labels, I mean, through all of that, what would you say is the biggest reason for that longevity? And yeah, I mean, you guys seem things change. You lose a guy, you lose the label, like in the Horoscope time. I think Horoscope's one of the strongest records you have.
Right.
And it came at such a rough time. You lose Bobby, Megaforce is changing. But you guys seem to thrive in that. And it's always so consistent. You've been doing that chemistry, that same kind of productive thing for so long. How does that happen? You don't see that almost ever with a band that stays together that long and is so consistent.
Yeah.
What do you think is the biggest reason for that?
Um, I think a lot of me and Blitz had like, especially earlier on, a very similar mindset where we're, blue collar guys, working guys, not rock stars in any way, like to have a few laughs, enjoy the same kind of music. And I think that, we kind of approached it, we would laugh a lot and say that, we run this thing like we're a roofing company or like we're electricians. That's more how we kind of look at things. Like even I was talking about this with somebody the other day too. It's like, in 40 years of playing, Overkill has never come out and taken a bow. And it's like, we don't take bows. You know what I mean? I know all my heroes do. Maiden comes out and takes a bow. Motorhead comes out and takes a bow. But it's like, we don't take bows for what we do. It's like, we play a song, you cheer. We play a song, you cheer. We play a song, you cheer. At the end of the night, show's over, we go home. And I know, you'll get the bands that say, oh, that's a thank you to the fans. That's just narcissistic bullshit. They're just out there for one more, taste of the pie.
Right.
But think about if you had roofers come over your house and they did the whole roof. At the end of the day, they rang the doorbell and you open the door and there's 5 guys standing out there with their arms around each other. They take a bow because they put the roof on your house. They get the fuck out of here. You know what I mean?
Right,
it's like, they're on to the next job. You grab a beer, you grab your fan, and the truck you go, next job. And that was kind of our mentality through all these years. It's like, we'll bang out a show, show's over, grab your guys, a few beers, a few laughs, back on the bus. Next thing, you finally get home. Somebody says, you can't keep touring unless you do a record. Another record, back out there again. And, you just do what you do.
And I saw that as a stat. Overkill has never taken more than 4 years between records. In a 40+ year span, you're working on the 21st record, as I understand.
Yeah.
That's incredible. And you're talking about, marriages and kids and shoulder surgeries and all kinds of stuff, life stuff, people, human stuff. And you've never taken more than 4 years. And that's 20 records over 40 years. That's incredible, man. I mean,
and really the only reason we took 4 years on one time is because COVID came.
Yeah.
Otherwise that probably wouldn't have happened either. But it's just fun.
Yeah.
It's fun to make records. It's fun to play shows. It's like, why would you, why, I don't know why it would take so long. I mean, I guess everybody's different. I just saw a thing. I just read a thing today where somebody said, I don't think I'm going to make any more records. Nobody buys them. And I thought, I've maybe other people do, but I've never made a record so that somebody will buy it. I make a record because I'm compelled to make it. You know what I mean? They're fun to make. It's a creative experience. If you sell a bunch, well, that's great. That's gravy, but I would do it for free. I don't do it to sell them. I never had a better show because they paid us more. You
Yeah.
know, and never, you know, but I guess for some people, maybe it's frustrating to put all that work and energy in it and it doesn't sell or reach as many people. But to me, 90% of the joy is the creating of it.
Yeah.
So, you know, you move that into Overkill and it's, you know, even besides that, you know, for me, you're talking about this is 40 years. This is going to be the 21st Overkill record. But I have 4 Bronx Casket records.
Yep.
I have 2 solo records, and
Right.
I have two Cadillac records.
Yeah.
So
That's
I'm up there on close to 50, close to 30 records in 40 years. So
it's insane.
it's just fun. It's just a lot of fun to do.
You've got to love doing it.
Yeah,
Otherwise, that's not possible. For sure.
Right. Well, our goal was always to catch Motorhead. It's like, when are you guys going to retire? It's like, Motorhead has 22 records, so we at least have 22.
Yeah.
At least we got to get to a Motorhead level. So that's and Motorhead most of the time is our gold standard.
There you go. No doubt.
Yeah.
That's a good one to have for sure.
Yeah.
You're almost there, man.
Yeah, that's it. We're getting closer.
We getting the 21st next year?
I would think at 26. Most of it is demoed up right now.
Fantastic.
Yeah, Blitz has all the material. You know, we got some time to do. We have I would say we'll probably be in the studio next spring, something like that. Maybe a release in the fall, something like that.
That's so cool, man. That's so great.
Yeah.
Is there a moment in your career that you're most proud of, or means the most to you?
I don't know if there's any more than others. You know, some of the first we had are more memorable than others. Like the first time we ever went to Japan was a big deal, you know, because I was a kid looking at those Kiss pictures in Japan. It's like, you know, and here we were in Japan. So the first time we went there was really the culture of it. The first time we went to Europe on our first record, you know, we showed up, us and Anthrax. Johnny Z sent us over there. And the first time we were in Germany, and the German fans, you know, have been amazing to us for since then, since 40 years, you know. So a lot of times the firsts on things are really, and the older you get and the more time you spend in a band, the less and less firsts you have.
Right.
So when they come now, you know, later in your career, you really appreciate them even more. But yeah, a lot of those kinds of things. You know, the fact that we stayed on Atlantic for all those years. I remember when we first signed with Atlantic, we signed for 1 album and 7 options. And our lawyer told us, oh, this is a terrible deal. All the options were theirs, not ours. Yeah. He was like, this is a terrible deal. And we were like, we don't care. Are you kidding? Atlantic Records is AC/DC's on Atlantic Records. You know, we're signing. And they picked up every option. We stood there for 8 records, record after record after record. And that was a lot of fun looking back on it, you know, to be a major label and all that for all those years. So, you know, it's been a great career, a lot of fun.
It's, you know, I look at it from the outside looking in, and I think, wow, you've just opened up for everybody, played on same stage with everybody. It's just, you know, gone all over the world. It's just so cool. So deserving of that, for sure.
Well, thanks.
Is it absurd to even imagine taking this Cadillac Band on the road playing shows? You know, there's the whole you know, arranging this thing is insane. It's hard with 4 people,
right?
And
right.
You know, the shoulder touring and a long show with a strap on your shoulder it's got to be very difficult. So what do you have any tour plans for Cadillac?
We have right now, we have a show December,
Jersey, right?
Yes, December 6th here in Jersey. And that'll kind of be like put our foot back in the water again. We haven't played in a while. We did a couple of shows on the first record because I wanted to see, you know, do I even enjoy this? And it turns out I had a blast. So that's why I decided to do the second record. And so we'll get back on the horse with that and kind of do that and see how that goes. But yeah, there's absolutely plans to be doing some shows. We're talking about it's a big lift because it's a lot of guys.
Yeah.
And to cart them around and fly them everywhere is a lot. So maybe we start in the Northeast where we can just, kind of keep things a little closer to the vest and do, I don't know, from Maine to, I don't know, Virginia out to Pennsylvania or Ohio, somewhere in there.
Right.
Put some shows together. And we're talking about that maybe for next fall. Right now, I'm
Okay.
working with my agent, kind of feeling out what we could possibly do, what could be fun, what would make sense. But the thought would be, to let's go out and do some shows and bring it out to some people. And my agent was asking me, he said, "You think any Overkill kids would come to the show?" I'm like, I couldn't even guess. I have no idea.
I would think so, man. I would
Right,
definitely think so. I would definitely want to see this thing,
right.
for sure. So I think I'm not the only one. I really
Or
do.
it'd be fun to combine it with something, like I know Alex Skolnick has his
Yeah.
jazz kind of thing. Maybe the two
Yep.
things go together, or
And Mark Tremonti does, the
oh,
singing
he does Sinatra
Sinatra
then.
thing,
Yeah, I actually, we spoke actually about doing something.
Yeah,
A little while ago, but that would be tailor made to put the two of us together, right? So,
for sure. Sure.
maybe that's something down the road.
A lot of options.
Who knows
Yeah, it's cool.
where it's going to lead to? Yeah,
Well, and then I hear, the last song on the record, "Want a Hippopotamus for Christmas."
right.
And it's, I think, Christmas shows. Setzer does the Christmas show. You've got Angus from Trans-Siberian. They do the Christmas show. A
Right.
Christmas show of Cadillac Christmas would be pretty darn cool.
Yeah, I like that title, Cadillac Christmas. I like
Yeah,
that. Yeah.
man.
And well, we're right now the plan is to release Hippo for Christmas for a video. So
Yeah,
we're talking about doing it because all the holiday programming is going to start coming out soon. It's
right.
like soon as Halloween comes, you're into November. It starts to get towards Thanksgiving, and it's like everybody's looking for new Christmas tunes and new
Totally.
Christmas stuff. So probably not some Christmas shows this year, but the single and the video this year, and maybe there's a Cadillac Christmas.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe there's Cadillac Christmas next year. Who knows?
So cool, man. So
Yeah,
cool. Dee Dee, this has been great, man.
yeah.
Such an honor, man. I appreciate you.
Well, anytime hopefully, some people listening to you hear this and a chance to go check out this Cadillac thing and what I got going on.
Definitely, man. And all the links will be down in the description and down in the article there. And yeah, man. And I so honored, so appreciate you. I know you're a private guy. You're so humble in what you do. So not everybody gets a chance. So it touches my heart, man. I appreciate it, man.
You bet, brother. No problem.
Yeah, thanks so much. All right,
Okay.
yeah. When the tour comes around, and my door's always open, man.
Where are you based? Where are you?
Around Chicago.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
you'd think that's that would be a major city. That could be a possibility in Chicago.
And I got a car. I can get wherever you are.
All right. Well, we'll see.
All right.
We'll see.
Yeah, please stop by again. My door's always open, man.
Okay. All right.
Thanks, Dee Dee.
Great talking to you.
You too. Take care.
You bet.
Bye bye.